Hi everyone! So today I'm going to show you how to do this quick and easy everyday rockabilly makeup look that is good for class or if you're just out and about during the daytime. So let's get started. The first thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to prime our skin. I have been using this Maybelline Baby Skin. It just kind of blurs over your pores. It gives you a nice even look. So I put about that much on my hand, and we are just going to evenly smooth that over our face. And this just sort of blurs over all of your pores, makes everything look really even. There we go. Alright, and now we are ready for foundation. I use this Cover FX foundation. It's a cream, and I use this because I went to Sephora and got matched. Now if you're as pale as I am, getting matched is super important. I spent a very long time looking kind of orange because I didn't have anything that matched my skin tone. I don't tend to spend a lot of money on makeup, but when it comes to something like foundation that's really important, it's important to make sure that it matches your skin very well. So then I just use this beauty blender that I got at Target, and I'm just going to smooth it over my skin. And you're just going to make sure that you have a nice even cover. Okay, so now that we are evenly covered, we are going to set with a powder. Now, the two most important things about a powder are, one, that it matches, and two, that it is a matte powder. A big thing about rockabilly makeup is that it's a very even, very matte kind of look. You don't want to be shiny at all. So I use this Revlon Photo Ready powder. I think that it stays very well, and I think that it gives a good matte tone, and it evens everything out a little bit. So I'm just going to take this kabuki brush and just get some on there and just buff it over all that foundation that I just did. And kind of blend down into your neck, just make sure everything looks nice and even. Now, I'm not big on blush, but I do use bronzer. I feel like every time I use blush, I kind of look like a doll, which is never how I want to look. So I just take this bronzer brush that I got, and I have been using the Bare Minerals Warmth, the lightest one that they have. I've been using that forever. It works the best for me, so that I just take a little bit and I just smooth in the shape of a 3 throughout my cheekbone and all of that, just to get everything nice and sun-kissed, basically. You're going to want to focus most of it just under your cheekbone right here. And those top strokes are just really to make it look more natural. So now that I have that, I'm just going to take that same kabuki brush and I'm going to blend it out a little bit, just because those lines get kind of harsh. And that is the basic foundation bronzer that I do, super simple. The next thing that we're going to do is eyes. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I use this Kat Von D High Voltage Primer. I take about that much on my finger, and I just split it up between my two fingers so that they look like this. Probably a little bit more even than that. And then I'm just going to spread them mostly on the lids of my eyes and then up into the crease a little bit. You don't want to go too terribly high with it, or it's going to look kind of strange. And make sure that you really blend down into your lash line for this. Kind of blend it out. You don't want it showing in this part of your crease, so just kind of blend it out as much as possible. Okay, so there's one. And what this is also going to do is it's going to give you a nice kind of even base for your eyeshadow to go on. It's kind of like priming a wall before you paint it. It just helps the color sit better. So then we are going to take just a basic neutral kind of eyeshadow. I use, on a general basis, I use this Bare Minerals. It's called Rose Gossamer. I got it a really long time ago. So I just take this. It's kind of like a loose powder. It is a very shimmery kind of baby pink, as light as the pink can go. And I use this brush that has a fluff end and then a little kind of contour end. I use this brush and I just, on the fluff end, get some on there, and I just spread it over everywhere I just put that primer. Alright, so that just gives you a nice solid base. And then I take this NYX, it's called Velvet. So I'm going to take this contour end, get some on there, and I'm just going to put it right there in the crease. You don't want it to be too terribly dark, but you definitely want to give your eye a little bit of depth, otherwise you're going to look really washed out. So then after that, I just smudge it up a little bit with this fluff end, just to make sure that I don't have any kind of harsh edges on it. And do the same thing on the other side. And again, it's nothing crazy, it's not terribly dark, it's just a subtle giving your eye a little bit more depth than it would if you were to just stick with that pink. And just make sure that everything is even. Everything about Rockabilly makeup needs to be even. Okay, so this is the part that I get asked about the most, is my eyeliner. It is really easy to do winged eyeliner once you know what you're doing. The biggest thing for me, what changed the game for me, is that I started using this Revlon 24-hour lacquer liner. It's a gel. It comes with this little paintbrush that you use with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get it on both sides of the brush. I just do 2 strokes in the pot on both sides of this brush. And I'm going to line my eye from the inside to probably about here. Almost all the way to the end. Now I've stopped here, and the reason that I've stopped here is because now I'm going to make the wing. I start at this corner right here where my eye goes up, and I'm just going to follow that line. That is the easiest way to get a wing. It gives the most natural kind of wing. So I'm just going to follow it up. Probably about that far. And now I'm going to connect these 2 lines. It makes it the easiest. Go. And then just fill in that little area that would be blank. And there you have it. That's one winged eye. The other thing that is really important to remember is that your eyes are sisters, not twins. So don't get obsessed over trying to make them exact, because then you're going to start looking like a raccoon. You're just going to keep adding and adding, trying to make them exactly the same. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And just remember, as close to the lash line as possible. Now we are going to go, again, following your eyeline up. Okay, So now I'm just going to go through and make sure that they look kind of even, and they do on the first try. So I'm going to leave them. Don't mess with them. If they look good on the first go, just let them be. The more that you mess with them, the more it's just going to get really thick and dark, and you're going to have way too much eyeliner on. Okay, so then I use, for mascara, this Kat Von D mascara, and then take it all the way down to the base, and when you get there, wiggle it up. That's going to make sure that you don't have any clumps and that it's on all the lashes evenly. And again, once you get to the base, just kind of wiggle it up. Right. And so we're going to go for a second coat on both eyes. Because I didn't curl anything, I just want to make sure they're nice and long and evenly coated. So there are a few options for your lips. I am going to use just today what I normally use. It is my everyday lip stain. I use this lip stain. I believe that it's L'Oreal. All of the markings have gone off because it's the one I use the most. But it is a stain, and it looks kind of like a crayon, and I just go over. So that's it. I hope that this was useful for you guys. If you have questions for me, leave them in the comment box. And remember to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more tutorials coming very soon. Thank you.